Let me turn now to a few brief remarks about the Jewish heritage of the city of Krakow, the main city of Polish Galicia, where there is a former Jewish district known as Kazimierz. Kazimierz was not destroyed by the Germans during the Second World War, and there are several important and quite beautiful synagogues which are still standing. However, the Jewish community is so very tiny, about 100 members, that only one of these synagogues is actually used for prayer services, but all of them that are to be found in Kazimierz are interesting for their Jewish heritage. One of these synagogues, dating from the 15th century, is in fact the oldest synagogue building in Poland and one of the oldest in Europe. Today it is a Jewish museum. Another synagogue in Kazimierz is from the 16th century. It was used by Rabbi Moses Isserles, the outstanding rabbi scholar who made Krakow the center of the religiously educated Ashkenazi Jewish world, and in that sense was one of the main founders of the Jewish community of Poland. One of the other synagogues in Kazimierz has a particularly important painted ceiling and painted walls, which are interesting as a rare example of Jewish religious art which is inspired by a mystical view of reality from Jewish perspective. And then there is the Reform or Progressive Synagogue, a 19th century building with quite a different architecture. It attracted a membership of doctors, lawyers, and other professionally qualified people who were more assimilated into Polish culture than those who were members of traditionally Orthodox synagogues. Traditional Orthodox Judaism has been patriarchal in approach, for example, by dividing men off from women in the synagogue and excluding women from most of the congregational rituals. So one of the key features that Reform Judaism introduced was to provide equality for women and most probably also to abolish the sexual abstinence rule 2 weeks in every 4. The interesting thing about synagogues in general is that theologically they are places of memory, where the Jews ritually remember the culture they once had when they were a sovereign nation in the land of Israel before they became a diaspora. A synagogue is, of course, also a meeting place and a community center for an ethnic minority group. And so, for example, would normally include spaces for people to eat together, study religious texts together, and hear lectures. So they also have commemorative tablets honoring the memory of members of the congregation who have died, thereby encouraging members to feel that a synagogue is essentially their synagogue. In the perspective of religious culture, Jewish heritage should thus be defined simultaneously as a memory culture, remembering the land of Israel, and also a diaspora culture with its own present-day diaspora memories. For Orthodox Jews, Poland is packed full of such memories. Memories of the great rabbis and scholars who lived here over the many centuries, and so therefore many of these Orthodox Jews, and especially Hasidim, come to Poland on pilgrimage to visit the graves of these people, such as that of Rabbi Moses Isserles, who is buried in the old cemetery next to his synagogue. These pilgrims say they feel the spirituality in the very air of Poland. That, for them, is what the Jewish heritage of Polish Galicia is all about.